You are watching us from. Welcome to the 3D show with myself, Desire. Unfortunately, today my co-host could not be in studio with us, but wherever he is, hey Caleb, we miss you. If you miss Caleb, please tell him down below in the comments, guys. How was your week? I don't know where the days are rushing to. It just seems like the days. It's just rushing. Like, what? Soon it will be Christmas, and then soon it will be New Year. Oh, God, please help us to cross over. My week has been fine. I hope your week has been fine as well. School run. You wake up in the morning, take the child to school. You think, oh, let me get a rest. Before you know it, you have to pick them up. Listen, I don't know, but we thank God all the same. Today we have a jam-packed conversation to have with you. I have two amazing guests in the studio as well. I posted a few things, online introducing the topic for today. Listen, everybody, I just need everyone to take a chill pill, get your glass of juice, wine, water, palm wine, sobolo, whatever it is, and join the conversation. Today's topic is single mothers, debunking the stereotypes. What do you think of a single mother? I mean, imagine, you meet somebody, you think your life is made, everything is good, and then life happens and you find yourself, and then you find yourself, just all alone, having to raise this whole human being by yourself. What does society say about such women? What does society say about such men? And what do you say about such people? Guys, tune in and join the conversation. As always, don't be shy. Please let your opinions be known. I always say the 3D show is not about, us always agreeing and seeing eye to eye. There's always respect and mutual respect between all of us, but by all means, we don't have to agree on everything. We're here to learn from each other's experiences, and each other's, different walk of life. So please, don't be shy. Join in the conversation. Get your opinion across, get your point across, and educate us if you can. Or, I just had Kenke today, so I'm in a good mood for a good argument. So, bring it on, guys. Bring it on. We're going to take a quick break. When we come back, we will jump straight into, the conversation, and we will just get the ball rolling. So I'll see you soon. Thank you.
ITS Pro Center. ITS Pro Center. Me dey find it is. I just say bia ya. Ya tete crofo. Ya mount SIA license. Now bet with your security. Now they go pay adwuma. O hwe se de na nkofo adwuma sai no wonya adwuma. Ba bia me kan fama wo. Aye ITS Pro Center. What any bet your amount here. Na on sa certificate. Enti adatina I say what na ka say wonya.
In order behind it.
ITS Pro Training Center.
Yeah.
And
Hi.
Yes, CSCS card.
Hi guys.
CSCS card. Just 1 day training pep. Now we use one service account health and safety certificate. So, and do it why day. And if you are going for a journey, I'm going to training. I'm going to share my site. It's been a make for what to why day. And then you want to make a Bomodia Nafray. I was on a best way. Bombardier pray in the year. ITS Pro Training Center. And the found some of your bar. I'm so bet me a rock construction and security. And to the praying, Naya Kawakasa. Yes, out of Casanso. Training center we. Nasaki training center we. 2 years with some certificate. Now you're Juma.
It was my. You guys know. Yeah.
Out of my bed.
Revive
Revival is when weak men gain strength. In this season of revival, the Holy Ghost Impact invites you to the Revival Hour, an amazing atmosphere of prayer, healing, impartation, and a strong manifestation of the Spirit. Join us this and every Friday from 7 p.m. to 9 p.m. prompt. Venue, Emmanuel Parish Church, located on the Romford Road, London, E78BD. For enquiries, kindly call 078-597-43667, or you can email us at holyghostimpact702@gmail.com. The Revival Hour. Come and encounter the power of God.
If you're in the room, Mom, you know this topic is a bit triggering, and I need you to take the track.
Revival is when weak men gain strength. In this season of revival, the Holy Ghost Impact invites you to the Revival Hour, an amazing atmosphere of prayer, healing, impartation, and a strong manifestation of the Spirit. Join us this and every Friday from 7 p.m. to 9 p.m. prompt. Venue, Emmanuel Parish Church, located on the Romford Road, London, E78BD. For enquiries, kindly call 078-597-43667, or you can email us at holyghostimpact702@gmail.com. The Revival Hour. Come and encounter the power of God. Revival is when weak men gain strength. In this season of revival, the Holy Ghost Impact invites you to the Revival Hour, an amazing atmosphere of prayer, healing, impartation, and a strong manifestation of the Spirit. Join us this and every Friday from
ITS Pro Center. ITS Pro Center. Me dey find it is pro. ISSA biaya. Ye tete crofo. Ye mount SIA license. Now bet me dey real security. Now dey akopɛ adwuma. O hwɛ sɛ dey na nkofo adwuma sign no wonya adwuma. Ba bia me kan fama wo aye ITS Pro Center. Ɛhɔ ɛni bet me amount tete. Na on sa ka certificate. Enti adati na ɛsɛ wo tɛ na ka sɛ wonya adwuma ye. ITS Pro Training Center no. Anya SIA nkwa na ye yo. Ye CSCS card so aka ho. CSCS card so no. Just one day training pep. Na wo wie so a, unsa besa ka ho health and safety certificate so. Don't why ye. Enti hwe kwafo agya we. Omo wie wo training. Omo akwakọ sha no. But me no kana. Omo ti why ye. And na ya what me kai. Bomodia na fra ye. Our sound numbers we. Bomadi ana free ni ya ITS Pro Training Center. Enti am fa wo se wan yo ba. Mo so betimi awura construction na
200 people. Hi guys.
Na ya ka okasa. Ya sa te okasa nso. Training center we. Na sa hwe training center we. Tu ya wo sa ka certificate na o ya ko ni ya ma.
Listen, tap the screen. Tap. Can you guys see me? I thought I was so far away from them, guys. Okay, so that's your camera. If you want to talk, that's my camera. Yeah. Okay. And then this is my. So I'm just gonna welcome back to the show. Introduce you, and then we will go into the.
Hello there, did you miss me? I missed you. Welcome back to the show, guys. As always, my name is Desire Danso, the host. You are tuned in to the 3D show. As always, your decisions today determines your destiny. Today, we have a wonderful and remarkable guest lady. I call her a minister, even though she doesn't listen. You lot need to comment down below and let her know I'm actually a prophetess. Hey, she doesn't know I'm actually a prophetess when I prophesy. Okay, don't worry. I'll be prophesying some lot of numbers during the show, so be sure to stay tuned. In the studio with me, I have Esther.
Hello, beautiful black people. Thank you for having me.
Welcome to the show.
Thank you. Hello, everybody.
Thank you so much for actually honoring us. And I came across Esther on TikTok, and she was doing a live, and the topic that she was talking about was just so riveting, and it just pulled me in. I could not. Her lives are always late, so it's nice because then the kids are sleeping, but I want to sleep, but then the topic and the discussion is just mind-blowing. So I'm telling you, you're going to be blessed today, you're going to learn something today, or we're going to ruffle a few feathers today, but in all, it's going to be an exciting show. I want to give a trigger warning because I feel like the topic today is very sensitive and can trigger a lot of emotions and traumas, so this is a warning. If you feel a certain type of way about this topic, then please tune out, log off, and I wish you luck. But if you are interested, please stay around, share, comment, and let's get the conversation going. So welcome to the show.
Thank you so much for having me. I am honored to be here.
I'm so excited.
Thank you.
So tell us a little bit about yourself. Okay. I've already said you're Esther, but what do you do? How did you even get on TikTok and go viral?
Okay. Hello everyone, my name is Esther. My handle on Instagram and TikTok is Wakanda Life Is This, and I am a budding herbalist. I do community work, and I guess now I'm a social media personality and influencer. I usually go live on TikToks on Monday, Wednesday and Fridays, and how I started doing TikToks was I've always had a lot to say. And I read a lot. So I've got so much information stuck in my mind. And I had a time where I wasn't working earlier this year. And I hadn't really engaged in TikTok that much. But I went viral last year on a post. And so it gained me over 1,000 followers. So I was able to go live. So I was tuning in on other people's lives and talking about topics. But I felt frustrated sometimes being on their platforms because I found the conversations to be shallow. So I said, instead of complaining and comparing, start your own. And I started going live in early May this year, and it's just blossomed from there, and I've gained some amazing followers and supporters. So I just want to say thank you to everyone that has been rocking with me from day one, and thank you to all the new followers as well. I do appreciate you
guys. Listen, you heard Wakanda Life Is This.
Yes,
please follow because I'm not joking. It's triggering. It's gonna make you think. It's gonna force you to question yourself, reflect the conversation, and everybody that tunes in is open. They're just accountable, and she's really doing good. You're doing amazing in building such a special community that I think is really needed in this generation and in our community as first generation Africans in the diaspora and all the challenges. So this brings me back to our topic today: single mothers and debunking the rumors and the stereotypes. I know a lot of you, especially within our community. When you think about single mothers, there's just one phrase that I hate, especially in the Ghanaian community: born one.
Are you trying to trigger me?
I'm just wait, what is born one?
Yeah, what is that, please?
You born one. So basically you're just born one. You're not a wife, you're not a girlfriend, you're just born one.
Child, I haven't even heard of that term. Hey,
I'm a Ghanaian movie. And I honestly really cannot stand it. And then on I think, was it earlier on this year or last year, on Clubhouse, there were so many discussions.
Oh yes.
On this topic.
Clubhouse is a dangerous space.
And oh my god. And unfortunately, it's Clubhouse is a reflection of basically what we are, what we face in our society.
Yeah.
And you know, this conversation carried on over there, and it made me think. I'm like, why is it that so many people, you know, unfortunately, it's not just men. Like so many people across board have all these stereotypes of single mothers.
Yeah, and there's a disdain for single mothers as well. And some of it is justifiable, and I could understand why, but some of it is unfounded as well.
So what are some of the stereotypes that you've heard and you think are agreeable?
I think the stereotype that is agreeable is the stereotype that single mums are hardworking. I think that is a true statement, because single motherhood, I'm sorry, that is, if you wanna die quickly, become a single mum. You will do the job of two men. I think another stereotype that is justifiable as well is that we are time poor. We don't have time for much, not even ourselves. I think that's a true stereotype.
Okay.
I think another stereotype that I think is true is a lot of us are forced to be quite manly, and therefore we can tend to be quite hard or defensive, and that just comes from having to constantly hold everything together and have the pressure of finances, of family, of children all on you at once. So I think again, I know some people might be like, oh, not all of us, but a lot of us do have to be tough.
We don't have a choice.
That's what I'm saying. So some men might say, oh, you're masculine, but you don't have a choice. You have to take on that role because it's just you.
Yeah. And I mean, I do have to agree with that. But the part that I just don't understand is how somebody, and perhaps, you know, it might be true to an extent, because I feel like in every conversation there is that exception. But the fact that someone will just meet you and just automatically think that you chose to be a single mother,
but
or like you wanted to be, or that, you know, you're divorced. What did you do, girl? Listen, and it's like, what is giving you that impression that I would actually, you know, within the context of a marriage, I would choose to come out and choose to do this thing by myself?
I'm not gonna lie, parenthood is ghetto, and that's with two people. Single motherhood is just the trenches of the trenches. To be honest, I am, again, the feathers are about to be ruffled. Prepare for ruffleization. Because of women joining in on the feminist movement, a lot of us have become a bit reckless. Because this whole female sexual liberation movement has caused a lot of us who would have probably have remained virgins or had minimum partners to sleep with more men, and you know, empowerment and you know, with the laws changing after the 70s to allow for termination of pregnancy, that has also given more of an open doorway to engage in premarital sex, to not have to really and truly bear the consequences of the act. And as well, as we've gone on from like the 70s, 80s, 90s, a lot of people don't value marriage anymore. So I think it's leaving such an open gateway for more single motherhood. Because I ain't gonna lie, ladies, now, come on, baby. Some of you that we grew up together, I'm disappointed in you. I was a teenage pregnancy. Okay, I was the tale that your parents were warning you about. But I don't understand why you're in your 30s and you're a single mum. You actually, you actually are having kids out of wedlock in your 30s. Like you're volunteering for my pain, misery, and suffering.
She's talking to me.
I don't understand. At least you was married. At least you tried.
Well, yeah.
Hey, Charlie.
Guys, if you are tuned in, we are, you know, you're tuned into the 3D show, and we are talking about debunking the stereotypes of single motherhood. We're going to take a very quick break. When we come back, our second guest is actually in the studio, and she will join us, and we will get her take on the topic so far. See you very soon.
so for baby no for that's what so man hwa we pay man na can we say we do job no so to me and say yes man
this show hairstyle.
ITS
I'm mad at you very fast.
I just say bia ya titi go ya mount SIA license na but we
I get it back, I promise.
because at the end
Fucking take some of that ass and some of them titties over there.
maybe I make up for ITS
So I mean that
okay
like we can still
ITS Pro 20 Center and SIA yes
camera so like right beside that one on.
CSCS card just one day training pep now we use one sabasa account health and safety certificate so it what why then if you go for again we we on training omo akwa share adwuma say site it me am gana for what why then and then you want to make it but dia na free I was on the best
she's in the shower
Mama dia na free ni ya ITS Pro 20 Center it you found some you but so bet me a construction lesson it would free na ya ka okasa yes out of okasa so
okay yeah
20 center we na sa 20 center we yeah so some certificate now you go year juma
Esther's already started with the 70s. Okay, please, let's just learn our audience. Guy keeps having a scream.
Welcome back to the show, guys. You're joined. You've actually joined the 3D show. Listen, the conversation behind the scenes is too much. So I'm just, but welcome to the show. My name is Desire. We're actually joined by the guest that we were supposed to have last week, and she couldn't be here. If you know her, I will tell you the secret later. But we are joined by Stunner herself in the studio. Welcome, girl.
Hey. Thanks for having me.
Tell us a little bit about yourself, and before we get the conversation going.
Okay, well, I am Stunner. I am head of finance at a university, SU. I have 3 kids. I have a 16-year-old, an 11-year-old, and a 10-year-old. Single, intentionally. But yeah, I think
I like the intentionally. We have to. Funny enough, when I posted the flyer, she's my oldest friend. We've known each other
love that.
Literally. And her brother actually commented, "Oh, I have to see this." And I was like, this is exactly what I'm talking about. This is what the conversation is about, because everybody just automatically thinks that because of our situation, we're gonna come together and spearhead and cheer on single motherhood, or perhaps talk down on, be kind of like rebuttative or combative. When you are joined by the real British. Today I'm being schooled. But what do you think? Esther's already kind of broken it down in history. Kind of how we've arrived where we are with the whole liberal.
Liberal. You're going.
Okay, sorry, please.
The liberal wave. Okay.
This girl, she's my human dictionary. so the whole women's empowerment, feminism, and stuff like that. So Esther's already kind of taken us through history. But what's your take on this whole stereotypes of single mothers?
So for me, I feel like there's this massive kind of conflation between conflating, she said. Yes, between feminism, like that kind of very kind of misandrist type of thing, like where it's very much women hating men, going above and beyond to kind of become single mothers, and I don't necessarily think that is the case. I think the kind of definition of feminism has been misconstrued and kind of twisted and turned and almost like demonized, whereas I think in some ways we're all feminists in a way. We all want, you know, in some respect, equality, you know, equal access to resources. You know, feminism is not necessarily I want to be the same as a man. We are different, and there's something great in our differences, and they need to be appreciated. It's very much I have the option too. A stay-at-home mum can be a feminist. She has made the choice to stay at home. She's not being forced to stay at home. She's not being coerced to stay. She has decided, I want to be a mum. My desire is to raise my children or to kind of be that caregiver, and that's absolutely fine. There are other women who are maybe decide they want to be more ambitious, go into the workforce, become the CEO, become the boss babe, you know what I mean? And they're also feminists. The two look different kind of economically, but are both feminists because they have chosen, and you know, they're at liberty to make that choice. And so for me, when it comes to kind of them, you know, kind of demonizing single moms, like, oh, you know, single moms are you know, they're pushing this agenda that they don't need men. That's not the case at all. I feel like
we need you.
You know, I always say this thing that it takes two, you know, it's very cliche, it takes two people to make a baby. So essentially it takes two people to raise the baby, you know, or to raise a child into adulthood. And so it's like, I feel like society has done this thing where, you know, for example, with things like maternity leave, the onus is on the mother. As soon as the child is born, the parental responsibility sits with the mother. The way the child maintenance system is set up, it's set up in a way where it's not necessarily equitable. The burden lies with the mother. So society has also put a lot of constraints on mothers. So it's very much kind of, you're in a position where you do or die. You essentially, you have to get it done.
Because if you walk away, you're crucified.
Exactly. What? You know, that is also, you know, a lot of women, you know, I myself can appreciate, for example, I have 3 boys. So I can appreciate that there are a lot of things that I don't understand because my lived experience is as a woman. I was a teenage girl. I was a young girl. I became a lady. I became a woman. I cannot necessarily help in some respects, I can't help them navigate their manhood. No. They will get to a state, you know, I remember when my oldest was about maybe 4 or 5, and, you know, guys used to kind of say to me, who's going to teach him how to wee? And I was like, YouTube? Do you know what I mean? Like, you know, that isn't necessarily, you know, that's not necessarily where, you know, the guy's strengths, like, he's going to learn how to pee. Yeah. But there are certain things like teenage angst, his, you know, frustrations, things, you know, sexual things, you know, of that nature. I don't know how to navigate puberty, adolescence. There are things that I don't know and I can't tell him. But somebody who's lived their experience is as a teenage boy could teach him that, and that's where the dad comes in. So even though, like, at certain points in their lives, like, I may be the most important person to them. For example, you know, maybe as a baby you're breastfeeding. You know, I can do that. You know, my partner can't do that. But they will get up to a point where there are some things that I just won't be able to do for them. I respect. And so for me, I'm happy to hand the reins over. But then there is this thing in society where the guy's at liberty to choose. So he can decide.
That is where.
He can
that's
decide.
They have that seemingly we don't have. Yet we are judged.
Yes. Yeah. And so it very much becomes a thing where, because you as the mum, you don't have the liberty to choose. You just have to kind of get it done. And so when it gets to those stages where, you know, you would like to draw from those experiences from the dad, maybe get that emotional support from him, and he's not there, what do you do?
No, he's there, but you now have to go through the new woman.
Girl,
because we want to talk all this brothel English. English. Please, conflation. You now have to go through somebody.
So for me, when it comes to like new relationships and co-parenting, I've been on both sides of the spectrum. I've very much been a stepmom in some respects. I've been the biological mom, you know, kind of navigating it on the other side. You know, so I've seen it from both perspectives. For me, as long as there is a mutual respect there, it becomes like 90% easier. But when the respect isn't there, when that kind of we're not putting the needs of the child, making the needs of the child paramount, that's when the issue comes. I feel like sometimes women, just to be objective here, can weaponize the children against the dad. And so
let me stop you there.
Guys, we've got quite a few people tuned in. Please, are you shy to comment? Nobody's judging you, just me a little bit, but it's okay. Talk to us. We've got international gospel artist. Say, well done, Desire. Keep it up. Thank you very much. Keep the comments coming. I know there's about nearly 300 people tuned in. If you're just joining, we're talking about debunking the stereotypes of single mothers. I'm joined in the studio by Stunner and Esther. Wakanda Life is this. But is that English right? I'm joined in the studio by. Please, I'm still doing English lessons. It's okay.
Can I give some pushback though, please?
Yeah. Please go ahead.
I agree with what you said in terms of the original. No, let me know. Do you know what? Let me.
Remember, we're not here to agree. We're here to learn.
Let me lay the foundation. African feminism in its contemporary form is completely different to European Western feminism.
Yeah.
These heifers was out here married. Are you aware that the founder of Western feminism was a married woman who, while her husband was working and providing for the family, she had the spare time to go to her local library and write up the feminist manifesto. So, and she ended up leaving her husband, and years later admitted that her quality of life diminished greatly and she felt lonely, and she actually didn't know why she even needed to leave her husband in the first place. So just to let you know, the founder is someone that she even contradicted herself. So I just want to lay that foundation. In terms of single motherhood and what it's become today, there is on our part, because the men always say, we control access to sex. Like we are the ones that are, and we do need to take that onus, ladies, because when you're lying for a waste man or a childish man or a non-provider or a homosexual, like that is on you. And now I'm not here to crucify, but there needs to be accountability. If everything is going to continue to be the man's fault, you're going to keep meeting the same waste man. Some of you, because you cannot take accountability, you'll meet the same man in 5 different men that don't even know each other, because you're the common denominator. And I don't want us to get into this habit of blaming everyone else, because with in terms of, especially for us as African women, when we take in the concepts of postmodern feminism, it is aimed in a way where it says, I'm going to give you the same rights as men in spite of you being a woman. Whereas what it should be saying is, I'm going to ensure you have all these rights because divinely you are a woman. So what feminism is doing now is it's trying to basically say, don't worry about your inadequacies and differences with men. We're still going to push you up and give you that platform. When actually we don't.
And then when you get there, you can't.
It's not even. It will never be even. And I think as women, we shouldn't be aiming to try and do what men do. No,
exactly.
Our uniqueness, our power, and our divinity lies in the fact that we are women and we can't do what men can do, and that's why we're necessary.
100%.
Okay. So please. There are, certain challenges with being a single mother. Like you said, and this is why I especially invited you, Esther, on the show. When it comes to the whole school system,
Lord.
I'm a learner because my kids are very young. You guys have older kids and you've been through it. How do you, because you mentioned on your live, which I think I took for granted, and I think a lot of people take for granted, especially from the African community, the absence of a man can greatly affect your child and even how they progress.
Absolutely.
In the school system.
Absolutely.
And so when you are now, because again, the please, I'm sorry, we're talking about single mothers. The father side will now come and say, your mommy's side is not smart.
Why?
every when the child is always bad, it's always the other side.
So do you know what?
Let's talk about the school system and how being a single mother, how did you guys navigate that in order for it, like, you know, what are the things for us to be conscious of in order for our kids not to be affected by perhaps our decisions that we've made as adults?
Why?
Because I've had quite a lot of my oldest 6-year-old, he taught me so much about. I went into it blind. Same. I went into this primary school, you know, when you kind of go really, very green, very, you know, oh my goodness, we're all the same, you know, this is amazing, you know. when they get to, like, you know, I feel like, and this is very kind of predominantly affects black boys. When they get
can you say that again?
Yeah. What it predominantly affects the black boys.
Oh, okay.
When they get to like year 4 and year 5, they start to get a kind of like a disdain for education. They don't like it, you know. And I don't know what that is. What happens there? Whether it's you might want to, but there is and that disconnect happened, and it happened really abruptly. But I noticed it and wasn't able to kind of like initially. I thought it was him initially.
Let's hold hands.
Bow heads, Lord. Lead us out to real Jesus. Do you know what? I thought it was him. So I was really hard on him, and I'll be very honest about it. I was, because I just thought to myself, what's changed? Like, you used to
your problem?
Tell me what's that? And he
haven't you done it?
And I just didn't understand like what it was. But then I started to kind of read the teachers, kind of their body language, the language they use when they describe the frequency, the type of things they were bringing up, and the frequency of those things. And I thought to myself, hold on a second, this isn't something isn't right. Now it's not every teacher. You know, I'm not going to say every teacher for purposes of
there's a lot of
but there is a lot of them. And so, you know, so what I personally did was then I took their own policies and I used it against them. And I think a lot of the schools own policies.
So that means even as a single mother, as overwhelmed as you are, you need to understand.
Do you know what it is? Sometimes
it's not just to drop your kids.
No, read. Sometimes all it takes is the policy might be like 30 pages long, let's just say, because they do it to kind of discourage a lot of people from reading or going through it. But sometimes just skim and scan, like we learn GCSEs. Just go through it and you will pick up pieces, and so you can use that to kind when you go into meetings or you go and you speak to the teachers, because when you do that, they know that, oh, she knows what she's talking about. We need to be careful, and they're a lot more careful. They're on eggshells around your particular child, single mother or not, because they know that you know what you're talking about,
and you know the policy.
You know their policies, and I'm not gonna use my feelings or my emotions. It's not personal. Let's keep it professional. We're gonna go with your behavioural policy at the school's behavioural. Did you do this, and this as per your policy? No. Okay, why didn't you do this?
Okay. This is to the
school. You know, why didn't you do this? Okay, is there a reason why you are doing X, Y, and Z as it pertains to my child, but I've seen that you do X, Y, and Z when it pertains to someone else's? Can you just let me know what the variances or the parameters are that you're using to kind of deal with my child as opposed to this child? And as you do that, irrespective of your stay as single, they respect you because they know that you're invested in your child's education. Do you know what I mean?
So basically, it's like this again, coming back to the topic, like the stereotype is not just coming from the opposite sex. It's coming, and when we say society, it's not just Facebook and Twitter and everything. It's now systematic.
Oh yeah, say that word again.
It's now. Hey, I'm speaking English. It's now systematic.
Oh yeah, baby.
Hey, so you know, and this is why it's important for us to have these conversations. So as a single mother, I hope you guys have got your God forbid, if you're not a single mother, I pray you will never be.
Amen.
But life happens, unfortunately, you know, and like Stana said, even if you're, you know, with married or within a unit, these are things, let's be taking notes.
Yeah.
It's not just to drop your kids to school
Yeah.
and just leave, or attend parents' evening and just leave. Or me, I thought, hey, let my child not be judged, so I'll call dad, please make sure you're there. You're there.
That is important.
Ask me if I know school policy. So that will be telling that you don't know school policy. So it's important.
I drag him to the meetings because I want the teachers to also understand that he's not alone. I'm not doing this by myself. His dad is very involved in this. And sometimes dad has no clue why I've called him. I'm like, get to the school.
Can I just use that as a segue? Some of you are weaponizing your kids. You've got men that are paying child support that are begging you to see their kids, and you've blocked them. And your school, there's a guy on TikTok that he's a social worker. He's got many years experience, and a lot of single mums, they'll be going through hell with social workers, and these social workers have not even contacted the dads. The dads are not aware of this involvement because they've decided in their bitter, angry, ugly hearts that they're not going to speak to him. He doesn't need to be involved. It's none of his business. And a lot of you get your kids taken away like that because you refuse to let the father be involved. Weaponizing your children is a big no-no. Number two, why are you taking the onus of all the responsibility of all the, like, why are you doing this? I mean, I don't want extra work.
No, it's like they like to suffer.
Yeah, they do.
The black girl,
They have a suffering kink because some of
not
you,
a strong, independent woman.
I
Please.
reject it in Jesus' name. Some of you when you're getting emotional with your class teacher, this is where now your ex-husband or baby dad could have come in and been like, do you know what, babe? It's okay, calm down, let me take over. But everything's on you. You're a lot of you're stressed. It doesn't take much for you to lose your temper because already you're carrying so much burden on your head, and you think you've got the one up because you stopped him from seeing his son, and you're getting joy knowing that you're hurting this man and breaking him down. But in the end, it's you that's going to have the high blood pressure. It's you that's going to be frustrated, depressed, lonely,
and it's your child.
And the child is going through it. It's traumatic.
It's very traumatic, and I noticed that, you know, like I was estranged from their dad for a long time, and you know, after a while they kind of they adjust. You know, kids are very dynamic. They adjust.
They do.
But when we kind of got to a point where we were civil, and they started to develop the relationship with them, I noticed how there were different facets of their personality that started to come out. Like my middle one is very
facets
emotional.
Sides. Different sides. Please.
Y'all need to read more.
Sides of their
Our first language.
that came out of them that I didn't necessarily see. My middle child was very quiet, very emotional, but when I noticed how he started to build a relationship with his dad, he became a lot more quirky, so much more banter, a lot more confident, and you know, him especially. My oldest is super. I'm going to use another word, apathetic. He's, you know,
so is mine.
You know, they get to kind of get to that. It's just very, very indifferent. Like just, you know, just kind of
Okay.
So he was kind of the same, even with, but he was able to tap it. Like when the relationship got better with us, he was able to tap into that kind of that resource that his dad had. So there were certain things that he was telling his dad that he wasn't telling me. Then his dad would kind of like go round. I was going to say circumvent. Go round.
I'm here for all the
all the language. No, so I was, you know, he would come past me and just say to me, you know, by the way, you know, I saw him with his girlfriend outside. I was like, what? He was like, don't go and tell him because he, you know, I just saw them and I've spoken to him or whatever. And again, like it just relieves the burden from me because I know that somebody else has that, you know, has an eye on him, because it's not easy to kind of carry the emotional labor of a teenager.
We have a question here.
Okay.
Jeffrey Brown said, can you ask the ladies why they do that when there's a man begging to see his kids?
Power. They want
they
want to punish you. They want you to suffer. They know the relationship's done for. You're not going to have a chance of getting back together anymore. So the only thing left that you still care about is the child. So they will weaponize that child in every way. I know mums that used to arrange with their baby dad for him to come and pick them up on Friday after school, and literally an hour before the man's supposed to come, they'll say, oh, we plans have changed, and they'll deliberately make sure they'll deliberately make sure that they're not in the house because the dad will come and be banging on the door, and they will do it just to toy with their emotions, to punish them, to torture
And then when
them.
the said man now stops,
Then they'll say he's a waste man.
Just in the interest of
Abi?
objectivity,
Yes, please.
I will say, because I agree with you 100%. I'm kind of, playing devil's advocate a little bit here. I feel like sometimes as well, because as a mum, you err on the side of caution. So, if you're for example, in a relationship with a narcissist, let's just say, and you the kind of like emotional manipulation that person has done, you're probably going to be, a bit apprehensive to kind of for your child to develop a relationship with the person.
Yeah.
so you don't want them to pick up
to pick up those kind of behaviors.
Or be weaponized against you.
Exactly that.
That's a real
so
thing.
again, I agree with you guys. When it comes to like that, that kind of not allowing him in, it's detrimental to everybody. But I also do understand that.
No, we're not saying we shouldn't allow them in.
Yeah,
we're just saying some women do that.
Some women do that, and what I'm saying is that just like sometimes, just because of the care that you have, and you've looked after something potentially by yourself for so long, it's like an egg in your hand. So for you to kind of, somebody who kind of didn't have that care for that
Like,
thing,
how dare you?
You're gonna come in and just kind of like let me hold the egg, and it's like after you left for like 10 years, you want to come and hold this egg. I'm
going to say something that's very controversial.
But so in some respect, some cases that is also something, the kind of you err on the side of caution. You just don't want to take the risk, and not that you don't want the dad to be involved, but you're very much kind of like, let me just see. Let's test the waters a little. Let's
And then sometimes too, when you've been, and I think this is where a lot of single mothers kind of perhaps make a mistake because there's a thin line, especially when you've lived with the person, when you've been in a long-term relationship, when you've been married to the person, and then you are now comparing his relationship or basing his relationship with the child, comparing it to what you did to you.
Yeah, a lot of us do that, ladies. Confess your sins. It's true. I was guilty of that. I was like, okay, how did he treat me? How did he treat my son?
It's like, you've never been there for me. Every time you said this, you forgot anniversaries, you forgot birthdays. Like, I don't want that for my child. So go.
I'm gonna drop a bomb now. Are you guys ready? Tap the screen. I'm gonna drop a bomb. The thing is, ladies, we control the gateway to heaven. Okay. Stop having Netflix and chill and casual sex. It's never gonna earn well in your case. There's no point in a man using your body and then you've got a sudden bill and you can't even call this guy because he doesn't give a damn about you. I'm sorry, my name is not a mattress. You can't come and lie on me. The second part is a lot, because again you're engaging in these dangerous games, aka casual sex. When you do get pregnant,
Esther's passionate because she stopped spelling out the sex.
I stopped smelling it. So yes. What I've realized, what I've observed is, because we're just going for the thrill, because that's what it is. A lot of these, it's not necessarily always a one night stand, but just a casual partner that you
sneaky link.
Yeah, a sneaky link, a Netflix and chill. Do you know what I mean? A little half a season game. You won't get it. You won't look at the character of the man. Now when you tell him you're pregnant, my man ghosts you for a whole 3 months, 6 months. I've met women this year that said as soon as they told the man they're pregnant, they didn't hear from that man. He don't jack, but he don't carry himself run, come out. And this is the thing. A lot of us have been in relationships with men. Maybe it wasn't that long a time. Like maybe we could have been with them for like 6 months, and then we got pregnant, and then that's when we really met them. Because the truth is, ladies, especially just the way the world is going, a lot of men don't have integrity now. They don't do what they say they're gonna do. Okay, I'm gonna repeat that. A lot of men do not have integrity nowadays. They don't do what they say they're gonna do. And a lot of women, you don't have virtue. You don't hold yourself. You don't restrict access to yourself. As long as he has a six-pack, or as long as he fits the criteria, he's got money, you will literally fling yourself wide open to a man that could be potentially dangerous. And we need to stop doing that, because the truth is, a lot of the time when we're left to be single mums, the man was only there for the thrill of sex. He didn't say he loved us. He didn't say he didn't even meet our family. But now we're tied to him permanently because now we forgot to take the morning after pill. And this is what's causing a lot of epileptic visits and epileptic child support payments.
Sorry.
Epileptic. Yeah, it's like this. It comes in and out.
Sorry, I can't take money after because Universal Credit hasn't gone.
Jesus.
And the man has left.
Jesus.
So please.
He said Universal Credit. Universal Credit ain't dropped yet. You can't buy
My sister.
It's £30 for morning after, you know.
It's
Like,
actually free if you call up. You can call and get it for free.
did you hear that? You can call and get it for free.
We know those people that are active.
Suggest rest your fanny flaps. Rest your fanny flaps. Don't even wait to come and ask to call no number.
Honestly, but listen. If you're just tuning in, this is still the 3D show, and you know, I think today more than ever this season, the title of the show is. I'm even scared to speak because I have dictionaries here, but it's more important because you know the title of the show is Your Decision Determines Your Destiny. Ooh, that's what the 3D stands for. So what we're talking about, you know, on this hand, life does happen. Nobody, I believe, meets somebody or goes in to deliberately kind of mess up their own lives by becoming a single mother, or you know, and I'm talking traditionally. I'm not talking about the people that have chosen to do the IVF or to do, you know, to take matters into their own hands. I'm talking about, you know, people that are looking for love, you know, are looking for that kind of union and all of that. This is what Esther's saying. Like, you have to take your time.
You do. You got to
because you know you really, really have to put in the work. And the thing is, the work starts with you. It starts with you because how do you want somebody to come into your life, or how do you want to identify what security is if you don't have that for yourself? How do you now like identify what character is if most of us don't even have any kind of character?
A lot of women need to dig deep and understand.
We have to put all the burden onto the men
to be what we need. No, do you know what it is?
Because we use looks. A lot of us speak because when I say so much women that they're beautiful, they're beautiful as you, and they think that's all they needed to be. And some of you, if you're watching this and we used to be friends, you're a horrible person. your contour, your wig, your whatever that you've got, your bomb, your red, it's not going to make up for the fact that your character is garbage, trash, you don't have no intelligent conversation. The last time you read a book was Harry Potter in year 8, and you can't contribute effectively to no conversation. Yes, To Kill a Mockingbird. That's the last book that you read. A lot of us are using our looks to seduce men. A lot of you men, because you follow like hungry hyena, you don't even look at the woman's character, or you can see all her red flags, but because she's got a big booty Judy, you're gonna jump in there. Baddie. Yeah, she's an Instagram baddie. Then later, when she's now your baby mama, she's a waste girl. She's a waste. You two are waste. You are combined and become public waste together.
Yeah, even Zoom lion.
I think what it is, a lot of the girls, they don't understand their core values. You need to dig deep and understand what it is that you value. What do you believe in?
This is where it boils down.
You know,
what's your deal breakers?
What are your boundaries? And then once you've established those things, then you are in a better position to kind of look for the best for yourself.
Yes. Wait, let me just test this.
Okay.
You know, these days, what's the first 3 things or first 2 things that when you ask all these girls, what, like all these podcast babes, what are you looking for in a man?
He has to have money. He has to have money.
Ding 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 ding.
A lot of girls don't realize is that it's not about
money.
A man who is generous. Do you know what it is?
I know a lot of rich stingy men.
Women beaters have money.
No, seriously.
Rapists have money.
They have money.
F1 in the chat.
No, seriously,
he has money.
Say it again, P Diddy, and a lot of you that are even saying P Diddy is terrible. There's a lot. I'm sorry, I'm gonna say something that's really bad, fellas. If you agree, type a 1 in the chat. A lot of women, even now, gone. With P. Diddy going through all of his trials and tribulations, there's so many women that if P. Diddy was to move to them right now, you would have it. You would have it. You'd be like, oh, can you just give me a little money? And you'd have it.
Just a little.
Because a lot of you, a little could be 30,000 now.
Please.
A lot of us, we allow the fact that a man has money and influence to say, okay, that's going to make him a good dad.
Turn us into stereotypes.
It doesn't. Yeah. Do you know how much girls I know that they were dating a guy who drove a like? Let me tell you. Can I quickly tell you a story? I know of a lady. She's older than me. She was my friend's older sister's friend, and this is what I mean about you're waiting till your 30s to become a single mum. Anyway, she must have gone out, met a man. He was an American man, and what? I'm throwing a little bit of shade on him. Let me tell you, I'm getting hot. And she must have been with this man, you know, took her out a couple times, again pushing the big car keys, got bees, baby. She ends up telling this man that, you know what, I'm pregnant. Or more. The man was in the UK for like 1 month, so he don't impregnate her. She now found out that beautiful luxury apartment in Canary Wharf is a Airbnb. The Bentley was rented, and he was married with a wife and kids in America.
Oh, but she's even lucky that he wasn't bi. Can you imagine? If he had a whole husband.
Hey, you know what, for real, let's just bang off what he's But she became a single mom.
It's happening on Love and Hip Hop now.
Y'all are weird. But imagine you're in your late 30s, you're 37, 38, and now you're becoming a single mum. Because the truth is, I'm sorry, I'm going to say it now. A lot of us mentally are 14 years old. Sorry. I've tried to talk to so many women, tried to be some of you lot's friends. You don't have to regulate your emotions. You have no accountability. You don't engage in intelligent thought. You don't even understand basic stuff like having life insurance, like making sure that you put, you know, your savings in trust. All these stuff that you should know. But guess what? You will know what the last conversation was on Love Island.
On Love and Hip Hop, sorry.
And Love and Hip Hop. Yeah, so you go know everything there. And this is the thing, this is what's getting you into trouble. Because a lot of you still have the same criterias, entry requirements that you had at 15, 16. You still got them now, and you're 32. Girl. You're not evolving. And then anytime someone tries to pin you on that, you say they're a hater. Bruv, everyone ain't hating on you. I hate the way that when we're being corrected, some of us will say, oh, she's a hater, she's jealous. No. I'm sorry, every time I look in the mirror, I'm jealous of myself. No one is jealous of you. A lot of us don't want to be corrected. Or we have this thing. I'm sorry, ladies. Can you hold my hands when I say this? Child. A lot of us, when we get called out for our BS, we revert back to someone without autonomy and start to become the victim. We do it. We're grown women, we're independent, we're bossy, but then the moment now there's a situation, for example, an unwanted pregnancy that we decide to keep, now suddenly you're the victim, and now you remove your autonomy, you remove your authority that you have as a grown woman, and then you now say, oh, but he lied to me. But he didn't lie to you. You ignored all the red flags, and we need to stop doing this.
You became conveniently blind when the red flag was
legally blind.
Was flagging. No, but I think, you know, although everything that we're talking about might be triggering, I mean, a lot of what Esther just said is basically describing kind of my decision making in my 30s, and I think, you know, growth comes from accountability.
100%.
Say it again.
Growth comes from, like, you know, learning, and, you know, choosing to actually sit back and say, as for this one, I could have done better.
It's painful,
you know. But unfortunately, children are not mistakes that we can easily get rid of. I mean, depending on what school of thought you believe in, you know, if you believe in the abortion, you can definitely, you know, that F1. That I guess that's easy for you. But, you know, for many people out there. Well, you know, because they don't have attachment to it. Like,
I'm gonna say something again, because I've spoken to. I know some women that they have had 7 terminations. I'm not even joking.
And they're so fertile.
Yes, that's why they had 7. And I'm gonna just be honest with you. A lot of you, because you're not doing the inner work, you're going through the same thing. Having an AB, let's call it, or termination, is a trauma to your soul and to your womb and to your body. So a lot of you are so disconnected emotionally because you are unaliving your own kids. You're unaliving a piece of you, and to act
And for
like
what? 5 minutes of thrill.
and who is it? And for what? Some of these people, they're the sons of Pharaoh.
Sometimes they don't even last 5 minutes.
Do you understand? For someone to do 3 push-ups on top of you,
You don't even come.
exactly. Exactly. And they go there.
Sometimes, how many times?
Sometimes, all of this, and still no climax.
What was it for?
No.
And he drank all your juice.
He drank all the Capri-Suns.
Exactly. What a biscuit.
Honestly.
He even asked, "What did you open your fridge?" He was like this. What did you cook? For him to do 3 push-ups, bust a nut and go. Some of you got pregnant because literally man slid in and bust. He didn't even pop anything
The
yet.
worst one is even, can I use your charger?
Jesus.
Can I use your charger?
No, I'm not asking for his charger. No. Some of them is, how comes you don't never cook? Uncle, are you my husband? And another thing, stop letting these men come to your house.
How much is Uber Eats?
Stop letting a lot of SA. A lot of assault and molestation to kids and young people is happening because some of you are so thirsty for attention that you're letting these men. You don't know them that well. Even if you know them for 2 months, 3 months. In 3 months.
Oh wait, no. Let's talk about that.
So I watched something about that actually. Sorry to.
No,
I did.
We've got 10 minutes. The conversation is like. There's part 2 coming.
A guy said, he's I watched it on one of these blog pages. He's ex-gangster. He said the way he used to get find.
I was telling you about this yesterday.
Yeah, find kids. To kind of run the drugs and stuff was he would look for the kids who were playing outside after 8 o'clock. The kids who are hanging around the chip shops.
And no one's calling.
Also, what I found really interesting was that he actually grooms the mums.
Yes.
He grooms single mums. So what he would do is, I'm not saying every guy, but just to be conscious of this, what he would do is he would look for the mum that was carrying maybe 2 shopping bags in her hands from Quick Saves. That's what he said back in the day. So carrying the bags. Then he would say to her something like this here, can I quickly use your toilet? Then be like, oh yeah, obviously somebody that he knows from the area. Then he might leave a little something in the toilet. So then she would maybe call and be like, oh, you left something in the toilet in my house. And he would say, oh, do you know what? Thanks for holding that or whatever. Here, hold this £200. Hey! And so so you build a rapport. Then after a while, you start to give it because she gets used to that quick little 200, 150 or whatever.
That's free.
That she's holding.
Before
So now
she's
she's not. Now he's doing they're doing deals, the drug deals in the house. So he's got access to the kids and he's got access to the mum. So sometimes he starts sleeping with the mum because she's there. But now that mum that was carrying 2 bags from Quick Saves down here, that you pick because you'll say oh, let me drop you home, with the 2 bags, get into house and use the toilet. He said now she's buying big bags and she's taking a taxi home. So now if she says when she says, do you know what, I don't want to do this anymore, he's like, alright, cool, not giving you any money anymore. Now she's going back to struggling. So she's now addicted to the money. So she can't,
and the companionship.
so now she can't let it go because she's used to having a guy around. The guy can also use the kids. She's got, like you said, the companionship. She's getting a little bit of change on the side, top up a universal credit.
The kids are attached to him.
And a hiding place. Your house has become a trap house. You've got 2 bricks underneath your dryer.
And he said this is where he would do all the deals and stuff. Like when people came from outside of out of town, they would do the deals in that house.
Hey.
And it's like
with the kids there. Cancel flats.
Jesus.
This is the thing. When you don't understand your value, you don't understand your worth. As a single mum, you think to yourself, oh, you know what? No one's ever going to want me as a single mum.
Yeah.
I'm not good enough. Who's going to look after my kid? No, who's going to want to look after my kids? When you genuinely, not to trivialize, when you don't believe in your own source here, these are the type of things that you kind of open the gates. Gateways.
So how do we move away from kind of again these stereotypes and these kind of words?
Do you know what it is?
That because unfortunately, sometimes our own parents, our own families says they're the ones that will be saying, you want to leave that man. What man is going to want you? After 3 kids, unfortunately, it doesn't even have to come from haters. It comes from the people that are supposed to love us and protect us. How do we move away from that?
I feel like one tool that is available to is counselling. And I don't necessarily advocate for counselling within the church.
No, go to a professional.
I said, go to a professional outside of your kind of religious affiliations, and look for somebody who is impartial, who can speak to you as a person, who allows you to kind of speak your truth.
Exactly.
Because I feel like sometimes when it comes to like religious counsellors and things like that, you're kind of talking within the confines of religion, so you can't really say, I like it nasty. You get, because the
I do like it nasty.
Jesus, you can't say it because you need to let him know that
Next week he'll be the preaching.
Exactly. Those of you young girls lagging down, you saw it, right? May your perish in hell. I saw that.
So it's like get counselling. I feel like that is a tool that is available. Surround yourself with women who affirm you. Assist them. You don't need to necessarily keep the same friends just because you've been friends for a long time.
I'm such an advocate for that.
I'm lucky. You and I have been friends for what, like over 25 years?
Yeah, stop telling our age.
Yeah. We've been each other since we were 1 years old. So it's like we've been, so we're lucky in that respect. But I there's a lot of people that I had to drop because when I was going through certain things, they couldn't understand, they couldn't affirm me, they couldn't uplift me. So when I was having those dangerous thoughts like, is anybody going to want to be with me? Am I good enough? Am I pretty enough? They couldn't really. they couldn't really. But you know what? Yeah, I found a sisterhood. In women who kind of uplift me and affirm me. Women who have been through similar things to me. Even some who haven't. Single parents and single moms, also married ones. But people who can affirm me. Hold on. Don't do that. You're beautiful. You are amazing. You are a great mom. People who encourage, and also people who, like you said, hold me accountable. Yeah. Did you do the reading that you said you were gonna do? You said you were gonna apply for that promotion. Did you do it?
You said you was going to block him. Did you block him?
Please, can I just say, as you are finding these sisterhoods, this girl, it took us going to Monaco to go and have a whole intervention for her in one situation. So please, be finding affordable sisterhoods. Because some sisterhoods, they'll be breaking banks. And I want to say, I'm telling you, I've got the pictures to prove. We went to Monaco.
Like, nice things. Nice things.
You know what I want to say as well? I just want to buttress off of that point. What I realized I was doing when things didn't work out with my ex-husband was I was making friendships through my pain. So I was trauma bonding. And I think a lot of the feminists that we have, they're only united in their trauma. A lot of feminists are trauma bonded together in their devilish sisterhood. And the thing is, when you're making friends, if you know you're in a really dark, low place, don't make friends. I'm sorry. I'm gonna say no. It's true.
You don't even make any decisions.
And definitely don't open your legs, honey. You about to collect. I told you last week. Don't become a feather duster. Don't be attracting all the dusty men because you're hurt and you can't. You just want comfort. When you know you're in a bad place and you're depressed, never talk to any men. They can smell blood. Do not make friends with women.
There's no desperation.
Yes, because all they're gonna get is trauma bonds. It's not gonna be a genuine and real relationship. It's not worth it.
So how did you move away from those thoughts of and those kind of negative words that were put on you? Because with you must have had it really bad.
Yeah, me like I was a D-head. I was 18 when I got pregnant. 19 when I had him. I mean, I had people telling me I remember I went to my mother-in-law bleaches, so she sent me to buy bleaching cream. The person serving me over the counter is telling me, "Oh, you can't use that on him." I'm like, no, but that expectation that you don't know what you're doing. For me, what I navigate, at one point I had to just cut off my family. For a couple of years I couldn't talk to none of you because you keep seeing me as some dumb little girl doesn't know what she's doing. And I adapt quickly.
I'm a whole mother.
Yeah, but the fact that you're trying to remove my autonomy and you're not allowing me to make my decisions or even make my mistakes with grace because there's no manual. Every little thing I would do, like if I wanted to go out with my friends after being at home for how many months, you're going on the street, you have a child at home.
I pissed my tongue, and they told me. Then I pissed my tongue. I was there. So it's like, haven't you done enough? Like, what? And you pissed your tongue on top. I'm like, first of all, I'm 20. I think I was 19. 20. I pissed myself. My friends, everybody was doing it. Like, you just pissed us.
Yeah.
And it was very much like I could not put a foot right. It was like, you know, and do you know what happens there as well? It became a very a trauma. I wouldn't say even a trauma, but there were things where I then put pressure on my son. My son had to be perfect. He had to dress perfectly. I always had to get his hair done.
I did that.
He had to speak really well. I had to read. My son was speaking at like 1.5, 2.
Can you do that?
You know, so I put a lot of pressure on myself because I needed to prove that he was good enough.
Yes, I did that as well.
I had to prove he was good enough, and that was kind of my prayer. In a way, it was because he's doing amazing now. But it's very much like I put so much pressure on myself to make sure that he was perfect. I didn't know what, in a way, kind of me. I'll figure it out, you know, what I'm gonna do with me. But that boy needs to be absolutely amazing, you know. So
I did that
I used to put him. Everybody knows I'll put that boy in designer from head to toe. The boy was wearing Stone Island jacket to go to Square and go and lose it, just so everybody could know. Just so that people
praise God for single mothers.
So that people could know that my son was like,
all those clothes are mine. My boys are wearing.
I put so much pressure on myself. I put pressure on him, and he bless him. You know, he really did kind of. It was like, you know, I know this, but he was so good to me as a kid because he just kind of like, he helped me. And so sometimes he would I could see it like, you know, in his eyes, like, I'm okay, you know, like I'm fine.
Yeah.
Like, I don't need all this stuff. And I was like, everything that I can do this.
Wait, so please, I keep saying my babysitter, please. So in doing that, are you not like spoiling the kids for later? Is that not also another issue?
It was, and slightly is still, because that was one of the consequences, the repercussions of being like that was. Then my son, all three of them then had this expectation that I could do
Stone Island coats
everything. He even lost it I think the 3 days after I let him wear. So
it wasn't lost, that was stolen.
Oh no, that's right, lost property. So they did. The expectation was there that, you know what, like mummy will do it, you know, and it wasn't a very kind of like they're not rude, but it was very much like it was very much like, oh, mummy, can you do this? Mummy, can you do that? At one point I had to be like, do you have a dad that you can ask? I'm just asking you. I had to kind of, and this was just a few years ago. I'd say that maybe 2 when I had, even my oldest was maybe 14, and you know, you can ask your dad for this stuff because he's like, I need to do this, and it was me, because for the longest time you get money now. Can you adopt?
You adopt me as well,
please. We're looking for sponsors right now. So you know, it was, and so that, yes, it's true, that was a repercussion, but again with that they had to unlearn certain things, and I had to become more transparent with them and say, you know what, there are some things that I can and can't.
I was gonna ask that. At what point do you become transparent
as early as possible
about the situation?
Not with the parents. I feel like the dynamics between the parents, like you and the
not everything, but just to let them understand why Daddy doesn't live with us. Like, is there any need for that at some point?
They will ask.
Well, I guess they will ask.
Because they did ask me, and it was so random. We were walking from school one day, and my middle one, because he's the most outspoken one, was
second
like,
born, right?
Yeah,
me too.
And he was like, Mommy, why don't you love Daddy anymore?
And they'll phrase the question.
I was like, why are you asking me this? I was like, you know, what do you mean? He goes, because, you know, you don't really speak to him, and you know, we don't live with him, so why is that? And literally, you have to think on your feet, because you know, it's not anything. Pause for like 10 minutes. Let me think about it. I'll get back to you. So
you can't do what our parents did.
No.
Shut your mouth.
No.
Shut up.
But where's our job? So you just have to, you know, I kind of, in a way, kind of made it up, but tried to kind of, you know, like, you know, it's not that, you know, I said, we just grew apart, you know, as, you know, sometimes you've got a friend, and sometimes you don't want to play with that friend anymore, because you know, you
play with Daddy anymore.
You don't want to play with that friend anymore, and that's kind of what happened here. Like, he's got his own, you know, new friends that he plays with, and I've got my own new friends that I play with, and that's just where we are right now. But, you know, we all love you, we both love you, and, you know, if you need anything, you can come to both of us at any time. And so, you know, you just hope and pray that that's enough.
Yeah.
You know,
and
but
they won't come back with
they
another.
will, but for me, what I had to learn to do was be transparent with them, especially when it came to like money, because they think that I have a goose in my room, and somehow I go and
If only.
you know and collect. So I had to, you know, especially as my son was getting older, and just be like, this, I can't do this right now. I can, you know, maybe later, but right now, yes, or this is the alternative that you know, but this is what I can do right now, and this is what I could potentially do later on, and help them understand that. And luckily, I have the type of kids that understand.
Same.
I know that a lot of other people maybe don't have that, but I'm just lucky enough to have kids that can understand. So when I did explain things like that, you know, to them, they were cognizant enough to kind of, you know, gauge what I'm trying to tell them, and then they understand. They extend that grace. Like, do you know what, mommy? We'll wait. I don't mind waiting. When, you know, give us that's my youngest. Give us a time. What date? And on that date, what kind of grace? He is gonna come to you and be like, mommy, you know, last week on the 4th of July, you said you were gonna give.
That's CJ.
PJ.
Oh.
Yeah. He
listen.
Yeah.
This one's gonna be a CEO.
100%. Amen. Because he's a boss baby. Yeah, he's the
yeah, so the conversation can go on and on and on, but very, very quickly, with just literally 3 minutes to go, what do you say? Because we've all been single mothers at very different stages of our lives. A teenager, just early 20s, and then me in my 30s. What advice would you give, like, you know, to somebody that perhaps is in their early 20s that's about to, or has found themselves in this situation? And then Esther, when it's your turn, you know, somebody that has found themselves in this situation as a teenager. Just to wrap up the show. Okay. And then, please, my nanny is billing me.
I think for somebody in their early 20s, life goes on. Life gets better. You are worth it. You are valuable. Don't diminish your worth because of what somebody else didn't see in you. You are amazing. You've got this. That's literally, for me, I think if I was going to tell myself at that age, it will get better. And I know sometimes when you look at the situation, it seems dire, you seem desperate, but I promise you, it will get better. Be optimistic. Still set those goals, and you know, still put those things in place. Still dream. You will absolutely achieve. And for all those that you will absolutely marry, you will absolutely be desirable. If that is what you want, it is absolutely accessible to you. I'm living proof of that. Like I said initially, I'm intentionally single. I could be married tomorrow if I really wanted to be. Do you know what I mean? It's up to you. You still have choices. You still can decide. And I think that is something that I needed to hear when I was 20, and I hope that if there's anybody out there that's listening, you get to decide. You can choose. Nothing is off the table for you. I always say this: if you shoot for the stars and you hit the moon, you've actually done something. Don't put too much pressure on yourself. You absolutely got this.
Thank you. And Esther,
for the teenagers,
yes.
If you are a teenager, I'm gonna say this. Please listen clearly. If you're a teenage pregnancy like I was, do not let anyone make you feel like your life is over. Do not rush back to school. I repeat, do not rush back to school. The school was there before you, and it will be there after you. Go back to school when your child can tell you, "Mummy, he touched my wee-wee." If your child cannot articulate what is going on around them and who did what, don't go nowhere. There is no shame in sitting at home for 5 years and playing with your children and teaching them ABCs. There's no shame in that. Don't let people make you feel like you need to. You should be in school. Rush back because you're gonna be drained. If you're breastfeeding, it will definitely affect your breast milk, like it did me, because I was trying to prove a point and go back to college. There's nothing to prove, and in the end, I dropped out. But when I decided to go back, I went like a bullet. And I excelled out of everyone in my class. Do not let anyone pressure you. Number 2, be very careful when you're dating. If you're a teenage mom, I'm sorry, you don't need to worry about a boyfriend right now. You need to be focusing on stabilizing yourself. Get a work qualification. Might I suggest getting yourself up to a level 3 in care, because that's a job that you're doing anyway, so you're experienced, they'll take you. I suggest an SIA license. Do security that is casual, it's cash in hand as well, or it's agency based, or get a job like a waitress with agencies or in your local restaurant, so that you can have a means of income. Relying on benefits alone is going to make you feel even more depressed, because hold my hands because when you're broke, it's no joke and you can't cope and you feel like you have no hope.
Don't do it.
Please, don't do it. And when you do start dating, date men that they actually consider that you have a child. I know he's cute, sis, but it is not mindful that, oh, you've got a child. Do you have to pay for a babysitter? Oh, what time do you have to be back? You know, don't let any guys come to your house, and don't let your friends use your, because when I was young, because I was one of the first to actually independently live on their own, people will try and use your house as the jamming spot. And you've got kids in there. They'll love to yam out your food in your fridge, smoke in your living room, mash up your house, and then when it's all said and done, you're the one left paying the electric and the gas or looking for food for you and your child. Do not let I know you have friends or whatever, your home is your sacred space. Do not allow anyone to use your house as a jamming spot. Do not bring no men to your house. I repeat, do not bring any men to your house. Don't let them know where you live. Protect yourself, protect your environment, and protect your child. Okay? Take your time. You're still young. Okay? You can always catch it back up. Don't let your family, don't let your extended family, don't let your in-laws or whoever pressure you. And I just know, if that man is not taking care of the kids now, there's a high chance he's not going to do it later. Now, sometimes they're young and dumb, but sometimes they're just dumb. So you need to know which one you're dealing with. But just know that God has always got you. He's faithful. He will never leave you. But you've got to submit it to Him. Because, child, if it wasn't for God, I would have unalived myself in 2017. But thank God that I had Jesus, and He literally dragged me through, child. That's what I'll say to you.
Oh, thank you so much. Thank you so much. Powerful words, powerful advice. Abby said you have a choice. You always have a choice. I know circumstances and your current situation will have you believe I have to just take whatever's there. You find yourself in churches that are forcing husbands down your throat because they need, assistant pastor needs papers to stay here. Sis, you have a choice. Esther says, take your time. Give yourself time to heal emotionally, physically, spiritually. Give yourself time. You deserve that. Everybody makes mistakes. Everybody makes mistakes. And just because you made this one mistake, we should hang you? No, you don't deserve that. You deserve the world and more. Thank you so much for tuning in this week. Today it's just been wonderful. I want to give a shout out to Jeffrey Brown. Thank you for all your comments. You've been active in the comment section all through. I want to say thank you to everybody else that tuned in. There's so many names that I can't say, but thank you so much for tuning in. Thank you so much to my esteemed producer, Uncle Marcus. We've gone over time, but thank God for his patience. Yes, but listen, have a blessed week, and keep the gist coming in the inboxes, in the comment section, and we will see you next week. Take care and God bless. Okay.